What's up, everybody? Welcome to the K-Pop Kimchi podcast, where we love spicy kimchi and we love hot spicy K-pop takes. I am your host, Justin Turneau, with my co-host, Brian Limper. Dude, how you doing today? Tonight, this morning, I don't even know.
I'm doing pretty good. I guess it'd be called this morning. Right now, I'm pretty happy because I figured out how to get Disney Plus on the PS4.
Disney Plus is out. Woo! It's awesome, man. It's so cool.
Since apparently my TV that I paid for, like, not even a year ago, isn't compatible because it's a Vizio, but...
That's honestly the dumbest thing I've heard all week. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to throw this 65-incher out and go buy a new one. Like,
how are you supposed to get, like, the
shit.
top-of-the-line smart TV and it can't handle Disney Plus?
I know, I can, like, turn it on and off and, like, look for stuff with my freaking Google Dot, but I can't get freaking Disney Plus because it's not compatible. Like, what the hell?
I have no idea how that doesn't make sense at all. I don't know. That's weird, man. But Disney Plus overall is awesome.
It is. At least I get to get a couple good uses out of my PS4 before I bring it to you.
Dude, there you go, man. I guess you just have to find a different way to stream it. Well, you can get another computer eventually.
Just go buy a new TV.
Dude, honestly, at this point, you might just need a new TV. You had this one long enough for, like, what, 7 months maybe? Not even a year yet.
Dude, they've returned to Oz on here.
I didn't realize that Disney had so many things that are Disney.
Yeah, like, I know, for real. There's so many of these movies. I'm like, wow, this is a Disney movie?
There's so many things and, like, cartoons and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was Disney.
Man, there's just so much stuff to watch. I'm just, like, looking through the movies. I haven't looked through, like, the shows or the...
Yeah.
Sky High? Oh, man. Did you watch Brink yet?
No, I didn't. I've been too busy. I really want to, though. That's going to be the first thing I watch when I have some time. But I'm excited because all those original movies are on there.
I know, that's the best. Like, before, like, I grew up watching this stuff. And, like, before, like, the only time you could rewatch is if it's, like, on reruns super late at night during, like, holidays or something on Disney Channel.
It's just so funny how it kind of brings that out of everyone. I saw a tweet, like, a couple minutes ago. It was some lady. I don't even know who it was. Someone retweeted it, and they were like, me in 2007, I can't wait to get home and watch Lizzie McGuire. And me in 2019, I can't wait to go home and watch Lizzie McGuire because of Disney Plus. I'm like, damn, that's so real.
It is super real.
You just want to watch all the old classics.
Dude, all 3 Xenons are on here. Let's freaking
honestly gotta watch those because I love those back in the day.
Oh, that's like one of my favorite original movies. That and like Don't Look Under the Bed.
Oh yeah, man.
All the Halloween Towns.
There was so much good stuff. Does Disney even make like original movies anymore? I have no idea.
I don't know. Dude, I haven't had cable for TV in like freaking 6 years.
I haven't watched. I don't even think I have Disney Channel. Does it a channel anymore? I don't even know. I just know that.
But then you've got like The Nightmare Before Christmas is on here.
Yeah.
All the Alice in Wonderlands are on here. I kind of want to watch this one called Noelle, which is like a Disney Channel original. It has Anna Kendrick in it. It's like one of those sappy Christmas movies.
Dude, the sappy Hallmark-style Christmas movies are honestly really great.
Okay, so yeah, if the listeners want to know, another peek behind the bamboo curtain, I'm a sucker for those sappy, like Hallmark, Oxygen, made-for-TV Christmas movies. They're like my favorite thing. I love watching them during the holidays.
My mom has been just like keeping the Hallmark Channel on at the house recently, and I mean, they really suck you in. It's just like a super, classic plot, and like there's a problem, but then it always ends up, everyone's always so happy in the end, and you're just like, dang, I want to be happy like all these people. Like everything always works out.
And that is a great segue because it's not going to work out.
Anything Produce does ever, because we now know that every group is fake, which we kind of guessed.
We're going to spend a little time here talking about the newest information that came out regarding not just Produce 48 and Produce 101X, but all the Produce series. Apparently, the guy that's in charge of it has come out and said now that all the Produce series are supposedly were rigged, and so basically all the Produce shows are fake.
Yeah, it's something about the police, found some kind of evidence and all this stuff, and apparently they're doing all this research. Apparently they just have like a crazy team on this. That's like the Secret Service, FBI all in one. I don't even know, but they figured out that the first 2 seasons that they were also rigged. So can't say I'm surprised, but yes, every season of Produce whatever was not real.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. We've been hearing about this since like the day after we recorded the last podcast, and that was what, like a week ago?
Yeah.
And I've still just been super butthurt over it. Like, I wake up every day and I'm like, man, everything sucks. Like, I came down to Springfield this last weekend and we still watched another episode of it, but the entire time we're just like, this is just, I don't know.
Well, it just sucks to see people work so hard for a goal or a dream and, go from not doing well to doing super well and doing great to just essentially all for nothing because you know how it all worked out.
Like, I'm not as mad about the whole it's being rigged thing, because, I mean, I'm sure a lot of shows are rigged, but I'm more mad about how they treated the girls and how, like,
yeah,
they basically toyed with their emotions and made false promises to them that they're never going to follow through on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like, literally, this tweet, I literally came out a minute ago, says that the guy on June Young, the PD, he admitted to some charges of rigging the results for Produce 101, Season 1, IOI, and Season 2, 101. So, yeah, it's all a big lie.
Because I said in the previous episode, but I'm just, like, so attached to all the girls. Like, I just love watching them succeed, and I love watching them, work together and try to get better and be super happy when everybody does good. They, like, freak out, like, after, like, reactions.
Yeah.
Whenever someone does something cool or something like that. It's just really cool because they're, like, bonded and they're, like, friends. Like, some of them are still friends to this day. But it's just like, man, they put in all this effort and all this hard work and they, like, helped each other and everything. And then it's just like, well, it doesn't even matter because no matter how good you did, it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah,
it's just stupid because people are greedy or want money or whatever. I don't even know the extent of how many people besides the one PD it really went from. I think I saw some other people got arrested not too long ago. I don't even know. It's just like a huge case, but it just sucks that some like old people were just lame and selfish and bastards, honestly, to just like go mess with people like this and just pretty much put the show on just to showcase all their hardships when really there was no ending result that was good for them. It was just like, yeah, we need you to go cry. We need you to go be upset. We're going to make these situations. But in the end, it's all fake. Like, no matter how hard you work, it's not essentially going to matter.
I will say we did witness one moment of legit true rigging when Minju's group, like, performed and they all got voted, and she, like, didn't do anything in the performance, really. And she still won, like, the number one spot and got, like, 5,000 votes.
Yeah, with the 5,000 free votes. It was like, well, now that we know the rigging is real, you can just see a clear case of some favoritism.
And she even started crying and said that this doesn't feel right, like, I shouldn't have won this. Like, she knew it was weird that she won, but, I mean, that's what they wanted, so that's what they got.
Well, it's just a bummer because all of this, there's not a way to think about it or just reason with and be like, oh, all right, this can be settled in this way to make it better. There's like no light at the end of the tunnel. And it just sucks because a lot of it will come down on the girls, like people being upset and stuff, when really they don't deserve any of that at all.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Everyone needs to stop bashing on the girls. I've seen so many people saying that they need to, like, the girls that weren't worthy of being in the group need to step down and not be in the group anymore. Or they need to, like, flush out who isn't deserving of being in the group or, like, replace them. And I'm like, what good is that going to do to anybody? Like, that's not going to do anything.
No, I don't think so. It's just been too late. Like, I mean, you said earlier before we started recording, like, maybe if this was somehow, like, a week later, then sure, try and dive in and maybe change some things. But, like, it's already been going on for, like, over a year now. We've already had IZ*ONE as a group who's been super successful and has a ginormous fan base. So just trying to do that is just going to make things more complicated and more messy and honestly just hurt more feelings.
Yeah, IZ*ONE, for me, is the 12 girls that are in IZ*ONE, and that's the only acceptable IZ*ONE group. Like, changing them out is not going to make anything better. It'll make things worse for the girls that are in the group, the girls that they want out of the group, and the girls that didn't make it into the group. Like it's a lose for everybody.
It is. It really is. There's no good that can come out of it. I mean, there's part of me that would not like to see that, but would like to see what the actual results were, just because I'm curious. But I know if that were to happen, it just would be terrible. I mean, no one would be happy, even for the people that wanted to see these results or demanded them or whatever. Like, no one's going to be happy. The girls in the group aren't going to be happy. The trainees that should have been in the group that missed out, they're not going to be happy either, because guess what? They're still not in the group at the end of the day. And
yeah, like these girls have been together for over a year, training, working hard. And I believe every girl, even the ones I said like before, like I don't know how Minju got in, I don't know how High One got in, but obviously they've been working hard, and they are Eyes One. Like they're 2 of the 12 members of Eyes One, so
yeah,
they deserve to be in the group, and they deserve to get all the recognition and everything. It's not like they just like bumps on a log, just like freaking sitting there not doing anything.
No, exactly. Like they're all so talented and have come together to make an awesome, world famous group. And if I was the head of whatever company, I'd say, look, okay, I get right now we're not gonna bring them back right away because they were supposed to have their comeback and everything got canceled, essentially, literally everything. I'd say we're gonna wait a minute, but this group is under contract for like only 1 more year, and they've been successful. So we're just gonna come back out with this group because we know they've been successful. We know they have a fan base that they love and the fans love them. So we're just gonna finish it out, finish the contracts, and do what we started, and just essentially forget about the past, because there's not really anything you could do. You said it, like they're not gonna go change members. They're not gonna redo the show or redo votes. That's just too messy. I think you just need to roll with Eyes One and let them finish out their contract as a group.
I mean, really your 2 options at this point are let them come back and finish out their contract and promote as Eyes One, like Eyes One now. Because if you switch anybody out or kick anybody out, that's not Eyes One anymore.
They can't do that.
It's something
That
completely different.
It just wouldn't work. It'd be a whole new group.
And then option 2 is you just gotta, even though you put all this work and everything into them, and they're signing contracts, you're going to have to bite the bullet and just disband the group. So that's the only way to make anybody happy. Like, it's either you have to bring them back and let the fans be happy, and if there's fans that are mad about it, then they shouldn't be fans. Like, every action is going to have a consequence. So you can either make the one side happy and disband the group, or make the other side happy and keep them together. But either way, you're going to get backlash. And in my opinion, you should just let them ride out their contract. Because I guarantee there's way more fans of the group than there are haters of the group right now. Like, what's changing people going to do? Is it going to be, like, make the, 10 people that wanted that girl that came in 80th place to be in the group happy? Like, who cares?
Well, the thing is, too, I bet a lot of the girls, I'm just guessing, a lot of the girls that are in Eyes One should be in Eyes One. You know what I mean? It's not like, 9 members shouldn't even be there anymore. And, they got rigged in. Like, were there a few? Maybe. But it's not like it's that large of a number of the group. And like you said, they've been working hard, and they've done so well as Eyes One. I think you really just need to continue with them and let them finish out, really for the fans of them that have been supportive this whole time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bring out information saying, say, I'm a really big fan of Miru. Like, being like, oh, Miru should have been in the group. Like, she should have made the final roster. Like, all that's going to do for me is be like, wow, that's bogus she didn't make it because she got robbed. But at the same time, like, putting her in the group now or just announcing she should have been in the group is not going to, make me feel any better about it.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely shouldn't change the lineup. That would just be the dumbest, most preposterous thing of all time if they're actually like, all right, you're just out now and you're in. Like, that would just be the most ridiculous thing.
Or start kicking people out and just keeping the ones that were in higher rankings there.
Yeah, don't do that either.
I'm not trying to see it go from a 12-person group to a 6-person group. Like, that's...
Yeah, I just don't do any of that. I mean, I do think one of the options would be to disband them. I mean, I don't like saying it because I don't want that to happen, but that would be an option. I mean, you said it. It's either disband or we're going to finish this out, and then everyone's going to go their own separate ways or go back to their own countries and just do their own thing, which I think that's what they need to do, because This isn't a group that was made
to be permanent. It's not like Idol or like Twice.
It's not Idol School or Twice or all that stuff. They literally have 1 year left, and then they're done. So I think they just need to finish that out, and honestly, the best they can.
The real question is, if the other companies that were involved in the show already knew that it was rigged and what the outcome of it was going to be. Because the only real reason I could see anybody wanting to disband them and being upset about it outside of the fans is if companies put money to put their trainees in the show, not knowing who was going to be in it and didn't know it was rigged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be like, what the hell? Like, I thought I had a shot, but I really didn't at all. So I could see them, like, wanting the groups to be disbanded because, you know, they're like, why? This is bogus. Like, I never had a shot. Like, or I want my money back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that totally comes into play.
If all the other companies are in on it, because there's so many companies that took place in it, and so many different companies that have girls in the group right now, then, I mean, I honestly don't see a problem why they'd want to disband it. Like, they knew going in what the result was going to be. So it's not like it's a surprise to them. You know, like, they don't have anything to complain about. And
it's just been going on for so long now. It's not a fresh thing that just happened that they can go right back on it. It's already happened. I don't know what you can really do to make it better because it's just been going on for so long. And yeah, it was bogus, and essentially every single produce group has been a fake or like a phony in a way. But what can you do about it when you find out about it so much later?
I know, I don't know. Just everything that's being handled, I don't feel like it's being handled correctly. I mean, honestly, with this information going on, I would have thought, in my opinion, a good idea would have been to just have their comeback and just, you know, get the fans to get behind them and support them.
Yeah.
Instead of just, like, disappearing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can see why they've done it, but I just don't think it needs to last long. They just need whoever's the head of the company or, like, the top dog to just come out and just say, like, okay, we took a break, and we're going to let the police deal with whatever, but we're going to let IZ*ONE go. Like,
or like, until, like, more physical evidence has been provided, or, like, the investigation's completed, we're going to continue promoting as a group.
Yeah. I just something like that. I think that's the way they need to go with it. That would... Because you said it, there's more fans than haters, so there's more people sad now because IZ*ONE's not back than there are happy that they're not coming back. So,
yeah, there's like a different trending hashtag on them on social media to support them every single day.
I know, it's like they all died.
They're like the fans like started and stuff, you know, to show them that they're supporting them.
Yeah.
But I don't think that having them just like disappear and go away right now is the best idea.
No, I don't think so either. It's all just really terrible timing. It's all just very, very... I mean, it literally could not have come at a worse time for them.
Yeah.
Like days before a comeback.
We still have a long ways to go to find out what exactly happened or like what's going to happen. So
yeah, I mean, we were finding out literally new news like 5 minutes ago, so it's a very ever-going thing.
Yeah, so as of right now, it's kind of just hearsay, like, oh, this guy said this guy said this. Also, he lied about the whole thing to begin with, so who knows if he's lying about everything he's been saying now anyways. Like, there's no...
Yeah, they just have to find the hard evidence, I guess.
Yeah, there's no, like, real truths or real lies, honestly, because you don't know what's real and you don't know what isn't real. It's kind of up in the air, but...
Yeah, and I don't care. I love everyone in IOI, so I don't even care. I love them. I don't... Whatever. If it was rigged, I don't care. They rigged it a really great way then. That's what I'm going to say because I love everybody in IOI.
See, that's how I feel about IZ*ONE. Like, I love everybody in IOI. I love everybody in IZ*ONE. Yes, I had other girls that I wish were in the group or girls that I feel like should have been in the group. But at the same time, these are the 12 girls that are there, and this is the group that I, like, know. Like, this is IZ*ONE.
And honestly, if you were to tell me, like, yeah, we have a ton of people, more so for Produce 48 because we pay more attention to it than, like, IOI. Yeah, there's a bunch of girls who we were sad couldn't make it into the final lineup. But honestly, instead of them doing some kind of nonsense and putting them in and pulling people out, I'd rather just see their own companies promote them in, you know, their own individual ways or their solo ways or a new group or something. I'd much rather see the people who I like that didn't make it go on and be successful at their own companies.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There's still a lot of time. Hopefully, IZ*ONE comes back or does something, or I don't know. They just kind of disappeared. So I'm hoping some word comes from them, so we know what they're doing or what their future plans are. Because it's really just nerve-wracking because you don't know what they're doing. You don't know what's going to go on.
I know. I just imagine them all just like sitting around being super bummed.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, you just get reports from other people, other sources, but you haven't heard anything from them specifically. So it's kind of nerve-wracking to find out what's going on with them. Because it's like I said, like just dead silence. It's just like gone.
It's just all shady. It's just everything. This whole thing has just been just a big mess and just all shadiness, and we just want some answers. That's all I want to know. I just want to have some answers on pretty much when IZ*ONE's going to come back.
Or even what they're just doing.
I still have my album in the M-Wave cart that I've not been refunded, so I still have hope. I still have hope that my signed album will come to me one day. Well, yours, essentially, for Christmas, but I guess we'll find out.
But yeah, so, that's enough. We're done talking about that for right now. We'll update you with more information next week if anything else comes out about it. Since we are our number one Produce 48 IZ*ONE podcast in America.
In the world.
So I was telling Justin, since, we're already on a downer with this Produce 48 information, we can talk about something that I alluded to in past episodes about my love-hate relationship with IZ*ONE and Produce 48 to begin with.
Well, it's funny to see where we are now with you saying you're waking up every day being bummed out about IZ*ONE not being a thing, to where you started out knowing about IZ*ONE and liking them like at first, but then finding out the sources or the origins of the debut song and then hating their guts.
So to begin with, they kind of had an uphill battle to climb, because obviously, well, you guys probably don't know this, but I don't really know how much we talked about on past episodes, but we both really were into IOI. Like, we didn't
I still
Produce
love
101. I actually have never watched an episode of Produce 101.
I'm glad. Definitely not now.
Yeah, I know, right? And then we were super into IOI, but we started listening to them right after they disbanded. So
yeah,
it's honestly not like we were in there as deep as we are with Produce 48. Like, we just knew the girls, we knew what IOI was, and the songs and stuff like that. So the fact that Produce 48 was supposed to technically be another IOI, another girl group formed off this, already made me think, wow, I'm never going to like them as much as IOI because I love IOI.
Right.
So that already was one knock against them. Oh yeah, you know how it is. Kind of like how people always say, no one's going to be better than Michael Jordan. No matter who you are, they're not better than Michael Jordan. Even if they are better, no one admits it.
Well, yeah, you just have your love and your biases that literally no one can dethrone. So
exactly. They're just so high up on a pedestal that's just kind of no matter what happens, they're not going to be better than them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they already had an uphill battle with that. And because of that, I never really paid attention to anything that involved Produce 48 or the group or whatever. It's kind of oh, cool, they're forming a group, whatever. They'll never be better than IOI, so it doesn't matter. But then the group was actually formed, and they came out with their debut song, Love and Rose. And I remember watching the video, their debut video, because I'm oh yeah, this group's debuting. I'll check it out and see what's going on with them. Because I listen to all the debuts and stuff, especially girl groups. I was like, well, this is a really cool song. But then that's when Strike 2 happened. This is when the second hill they had to climb really came about, because obviously everyone who listens to the podcast knows I'm a huge stan of CLC. They're on top of Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore's just, their face was carved into it for me. That's just the top of the line, the number one. And they were teasing a comeback for a long time. And if anyone else is a CLC fan, not this year, but last year, you'll know my feels because we were so disappointed that they didn't follow up Black Dress with anything for an entire year. Like why? That was like one of the biggest songs they've had in years, and they didn't follow it up with a comeback or anything. But they did have spoilers for the comeback that they were going to have, and they're like, spoil. I don't know if you remember, they're like posting pictures of like roses and like stuff like that, and like different stuff. So everyone thought, okay, they're going to have a comeback coming. Like there's teasing things. I wonder what it's going to be. And then this Lave and Rose song came out, and I remember hearing people commenting about it, like, wow, this was supposed to be a CLC song, like, this is bogus, like, blah, 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 all this stuff. Do you remember when all that happened?
Yeah.
And, like, people are blowing up Twitter about it, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know about this. And the reason they thought that originally was because the guy who composed Lave and Rose was the same person who composed Black Dress, and all the spoilers that the girls were posting on their social media were like pictures of them with like roses and like different situations, like red roses and stuff, So people were like connecting the dots of that. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know about this. Like, if you're stealing from CLC, I cannot stand for this. Like, you could be the coolest group ever, but I'm not going to support you. If you're going to use these ill-gotten gains to gain popularity off of, my favorite group. Like, this is bullshit. Like, I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not supporting you. That also was kind of like rumors. Like, no one really knew 100% for sure. But then it came out that it really was supposed to be a CLC song, and Cube sold it to... Who's the one that's in charge of Eyes One? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
But whoever was in charge of them, they sold the song to them, and that's the song that they debuted with. Even though it was technically originally recorded and it was a CLC song for a comeback. So that made me automatically, I'm like, I don't care how good you are. Like, I'm not going to like you. Like, this is...
Yeah.
I remember texting you, too. I was like, this is bullshit. They took CLC song, and I'm never going to support them. Like, this is... Eyes One is dead to me.
I remember that, too. I mean, it was bogus because... It was just so bogus because CLC wasn't doing anything. So it was like, wow, they were going to do something, and now they're not.
And then the worst part about it was, like... I think the one thing that really pushed, like, me and the rest of the Cheshires over the edge on this was... CLC obviously had never won a show award or anything for any of their shit comebacks and stuff, And as soon as Eyes One came out, they, like, blew up, and they won so many awards and were so popular because of this song.
Yeah.
And we're like, yo, that should have been us. Like, that should have been CLC's the win. Like, this should have got them their first win. Like, this is bullshit. Like,
right.
But that's pretty much where it started with me and Eyes One. So that was not they had 2 strikes on him before I even found out anything about him. So that's really the fact they came back from that's kind of surprising. Cause
I mean, I never would have guessed that you'd ever even think about liking them, not like loving them, but liking them because of that, man, because it was a dark place for them early on. I didn't give them much of a chance for you because you were pretty pissed, and rightfully so, because that was a really bogus situation.
Yeah, how was it from your perspective? Because you got to live through it, because you got to hear about it all the time.
Well, I thought that song was good. I liked it. I thought it was a cool song. I didn't love it a ton, but I thought it was a good song. Really, my first, I guess, the first Produce 48 memory I had was I had to check out Pick Me, because that was so iconic for IOI, and it was such a song that everybody loved and everybody knew the dance, and we literally heard them playing it at H Mart 2 weeks ago when I was with you. Like, that song is amazing, and we love the Pick Me song, and it's such a staple of Produce 48, or just Produce in general. So I was like, okay, I got to hear the new Produce 48 song. And like you said, I was going into it, I was like, there's no way it's better than Pick Me from IOI. Like, there's just no way. And I will say, I still do not think it's better, but I remember listening to Nikaya or whatever it's called, just Pick Me for Produce 48. And I was like, okay, this is really damn good. Like, because I saw people hating on it on, social media, as people do. And I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to like this going in. But I listened to it, and I was like, this is really good. And I remember texting you.
I remember you sending it to me.
I was like, you know what? I was like, it's not better, because nothing will beat the original Pick Me, but Pick Me from Produce 48 goes hard. And I really, really liked it a lot. And I remember listening to it quite a bit, not knowing any of the members, anything about the show, anything about anything, literally. But I remember jamming to that Pick Me a lot. And I don't know, I really liked it. I still thought it was really solid.
Oh yeah, I love it now. It's like my favorite thing.
That was like my first Produce 48 memory I can really think of, because I didn't know anything about him, but I knew Pick Me and I liked it.
You did send that to me, and it was really good. I remember saying that. I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. I was like, it's not Pick Me by IOI.
No, and the thing is, nothing will be Pick Me by IOI. So that's
just like a legendary song.
It's so good.
Like everybody dances
to it. That song's incredible. I just love IOI. But Produce 48 Pick Me, really good. Went into it, and it was just, you said it goes up against like such high odds that like it's just not going to work. It's like so stacked against the odds. It's like, oh, I'm going to hate this. This isn't going to be good. But it turns out it was amazing.
Yeah. I think for both of us it started out pretty low, because it's just kind of hard to top, kind of like any song right now going up against Fancy. It's just kind of hard to top the GOAT.
It's hard to topple your favorites, man. It's hard to knock off number one. It's not an easy thing to do, no matter how good you are or how much people love you. If it's my number one, it's hard to beat.
It's true.
And I still I can still probably say, for me, I still probably love IOI as a group more than Eyes One, but against all the odds, Eyes One has done a great job, and I love them so much. Mainly because of watching the show. That's really where, because you said it, we didn't watch IOI become IOI. We figured it out after and paid attention to them and watched their variety and music videos and all that stuff. But watching Produce 48, even though it's still after the fact, but we actually went back and watched the episodes, and that just makes you really appreciate the group on a whole new level, I feel like.
I feel like that's honestly the one reason why I personally probably like Produce 48 more than the Produce 101, but that's just because I've watched everything that involves Produce 48 and Eyes One.
Yeah.
And
then it just comes out it's all a fake and a bummer, but whatever.
Yeah, because I saw them all suffer together, work together, all the ups and downs, really everything.
Yeah.
But for Produce 101 and IOI, I still really like all of them, but we just saw the final product and them on survival shows and stuff. We really get to see
yeah, we've seen clips, but we've never watched full episodes.
Yeah. Makes a difference.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. You get so invested into the group and into the girls and into the show when you actually watch the full 2.5 hour episodes. Because
I said, I personally like them, this Produce 48 and Eyes One more right now, but it's not just Eyes One. It's I know all 97 of the girls, I know every single one of them. I couldn't even tell you really, outside maybe 4 or 5 people, who was in Produce 101.
Yeah.
And I only knew that because of other groups that they're in. It wasn't even from them being in Produce 101. I'm like, oh, this person's in this group. Oh, hey, they're in Produce 101. That's cool.
Yeah. They competed in the show.
I know all the members, and I've seen all the members of Produce 48. So
right.
It's all of them, everybody, not just the final members, but all the members the trainees that participated in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, how did you feel about all the CLC nonsense when I was talking about it?
Well, I just thought it was really sad because CLC was just at such a down point, man. They just weren't doing anything, and we really thought for a little bit there that they were done. Especially when Idol came out, we were like, all right, CLC's on the ropes, and I wouldn't be surprised if I wake up the next morning and hear that Cube's going to disband them. Because they literally were so good with Black Dress, and then they literally just did nothing. They weren't doing anything. It was we were just joke, maybe CLC will come back, maybe they'll actually make a song, maybe they'll have a teaser. So it was exciting to see just even a possibility of them doing something at all, like literally anything. And then once we figured out that, the song got sold to IZ*ONE and just all that, it was just even, it made that like sadness of CLC drop even farther. It's like, well, they can't get ahead at all if literally a song for them went to somebody else.
Sold to somebody else.
And then now they're not even doing it. Like, what the heck are they supposed to do that their stuff, they can't even perform their stuff because now other people own it. So it was just really sad. And I just didn't care about Produce 48 at the time, so I kind of shared that just like anger towards them. I'm like, geez, man, can't Cube do something with CLC? And luckily they have, over the recent year, but then it was just, we didn't even know if CLC was going to come back as a group. We thought they were maybe going to be done.
Because, they came out with, Black Dress like February or March, and then were gone for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Just did nothing.
I remember people were saying that it was a CLC song. And I'm like, I don't know if I don't know about that. Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But if you, listen to Black Dress and you listen to Lave and Rose, they have, the same, sound and timing and, vocal parts in the same spots. So you can tell the same person, made the song. They're very similar.
Well, wasn't there a video that got leaked or something of, Sungi singing it? Of CLC singing it?
I don't remember if it was a video, but there was audio clips of CLC singing the song.
Yeah, there was you could hear them singing. That's what it was. It was like, all right, well, so they obviously were supposed to use this song because it was before IZ*ONE even had it. Well, so it was just a big bummer.
It wasn't a real clip. It was like a dance practice of a group dancing.
Yeah.
But the backing track was CLC singing Lave and Rose.
Yeah, it was super deep, investigative skills from someone that it wasn't just a straight video or sound clip. It was like someone figuring it out, but it was true.
But yeah, they sounded very similar. If you'd overlap the songs together, you'd be like, oh wow, okay, yeah, I can see how this is the same guy made both of these songs. Kind of like when Shinsadong Tiger made Bam and Boom Boom.
Those are the exact same songs.
They sound exactly. They're different, but they sound exactly the same. And you can tell that the same guy made both of them.
I wonder what Momoland's up to.
I don't know, but that's another one of my favorite groups. But that's another topic for a different day.
They've also just kind of not been doing well. I think they've been having some concerts. I don't know. I hope they're doing well because I miss them.
I know. We miss you, Daisy. Come back.
They're just dropping like flies, man. They had 4 people at KCON.
I know, but. Okay, so we've established the fact that I had a deep, burning hatred of IZ*ONE and Produce 48 for the longest time because I felt like they did my ultimate bias group, dirty.
Yeah.
Although, I do remember telling you that I kind of cooled down after a little bit, and I told you I don't blame IZ*ONE for this because it wasn't their doing. Kind of like this whole situation they're in now.
It's just funny how that
it has
turned
nothing
its head
to do
again.
with them. It was Cube. The Cube's the one that did it. They're the one that sold the song.
Yeah.
IZ*ONE had no information about it, They're just told, hey, this is your song, this is what you're doing, go do it. Kind of like I said, now, it's they're just doing what they're supposed to be doing. They don't know any of the background behind any of this stuff that's happening.
Well, yeah, and it's not like the members of IZ*ONE were like, all right, how can we screw CLC over today? We need to go take their song and sing it and debut and win an award. That's not how it was at all. It was just the officials of their company and the officials of Cube being like, all right, we're selling you this. This is apparently how CLC is going to make us money now, is not singing their song, but selling their song. So it was just Cube was so bad that year. They suck so much.
Another example. Remember in the V Live Zhangyan had a little bit ago? She said, Very, Very was supposed to be a Twice song, and then they sold it to ILI.
Yeah.
So, apparently this is also very common and it happens a lot.
Yeah. And JYP is still, on that. You can hear, he's in the beginning, saying JYP and all that. So you, know it's a JYP song. I didn't know, hearing Vienland Rose, that it was, a Cube or whatever the producer was. I didn't know that it was his song.
But I'm trying to remember. Honestly, I'm trying to think right now and... Oh, okay, no, I remember. So, I was really upset with IZ*ONE, and I wanted nothing to do with them until about, 3.5 months ago, maybe?
Probably, yeah.
When we were watching... What were we watching? we were sitting in my brother's room watching something, and then that random video came on, and it was like moments in that make me forget Produce 48's over. Remember that? And there's like a random video on YouTube.
Yeah, it was just like a weird compilation, goofy video.
And then we have like funny moments and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were watching it, and I just remember telling him, like, man, this is like, seems like the wildest show ever. Like, they're just like going crazy. Like, this is so nuts.
The whole thing.
And literally, based off of that one video, I just like fell down the deepest rabbit hole. Like this Alice in Wonderland movie I'm watching right now. And I just loved, after that, I just was going nuts. And that's like all I talked about. I felt like it's Produced 48 and Eyes One.
Yeah, because you found the full episodes, and then you watched a few of the episodes, and you're like, well, I am hooked now.
But yeah, it's all because of that random video we watched. I remember what we were even doing. We might have been watching, like, random videos of, like, a Weekly Idol or something, and it, like, came up recommended.
I think that was the day we watched the fancy stages 36 times a piece, and the music video, like, 100 times.
Dude,
and then...
was that the day that we watched the Weekly Idol with Everglow?
Maybe.
And then it like randomly like came on the recommended. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
let's check
I think
this out.
so. That might have been it. I remember that night we watched a lot of videos.
I remember it was in Brett's room, so
yeah.
I think that might have been what it was. We watched like Everglow with
who are they with?
Wecky Mecky.
Yeah, that's who it was. They had like a dual Weekly Idol.
And then it like I think just came on the random ones. And I'm like, wow, this just looks like the funnest, like craziest show ever. Like, what is this?
Oh yeah.
And then I like went home and looked into it because I remember I told you, I'm like, oh, I found a whole episodes of Produce 48 on like YouTube.
Yeah.
And then after that day, I just freaking engulfed my life. It is now my biggest cause of happiness and my biggest cause of depression all at the same time.
Yeah, it's just so crazy how, like, what a time to become a fan of Eyes One and then love them so much, and then now we have all this nonsense that we have to deal with.
Dude, I literally was laying on, like, my bed last night. Well, not last night, but, like, when I got home from work before I took my nap, and a random, like, because, you know, you get, like, random recommended videos that come on, like, YouTube and stuff.
Right, right.
And it was just when they were dancing to the Boys Pick Me from 101.
Yeah.
And when they danced to High Tension. And I literally was just sitting there, and I was, like, so sad but so happy because I'm like, wow, this just reminds me of, like, happier times.
The good old days of like 2 weeks ago, and we didn't know anything about this.
For real, I was just like, gosh, this just takes me back to like the best times. Like, man, 2 weeks ago, I was like, freaking, I was flying high. I'm like, man, I love Produce 48. Eyes One's coming back. Like, let's just watch all of Produce 48 on YouTube. Like, this is the best. And now 2 weeks later, I'm like, wow, I'm so sad. Like, they literally might never come back again.
I hope they do. I think they will. I don't know how they can't. That would be such a bummer.
But, there you go.
I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on with the Boys one. I assume just the same type stuff where they're just, like, doing nothing.
But I think it was worse for them because they haven't really done anything because they've been under scrutiny the entire time they've been a group.
That was where all these rumors I saw, where I first saw them, was that one was rigged. Like, literally, where we are now started with that. And, like, so many rumors about that for so long. And nothing ever came out of it, and then... Now, when everything did, the dude just was like, all right, well, guess what? It's all a big lie.
I honestly did not hear anything about the boys group until they brought this stuff up like last week.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I couldn't even told you that they even made another boy group.
I actually think I've been seeing stuff about it for like a long time. Like, maybe not like a long time, but like for a while. I've just seen like tweets, and like nothing ever came of it though, and there was no like solid proof. So I was like, well, this is just like stupid rumors of like, oh well, they rigged that season of Produce, and like people got booted out of the group that were supposed to be in, and they didn't make it. But I was like, whatever. I didn't watch that, and honestly, I didn't care that much about the guys anyway. So, but yeah, that was where it all started. I saw, and then now we're here.
I hope Gio realizes her entire dating life is based off the lie.
Yeah, okay. Here's the only good thing that can come from this is if King Daniel didn't actually win. Because no person should have that many good things happen in his life. It's not fair to the rest of us normal people. So let's figure that out, police in Korea, that King Daniel should not have been the winner because he's already winning enough with Gio.
Hey, 2 out of 3
I hate
still
that
ain't
guy.
bad.
Well, I definitely pick Gio over winning whatever, but good for him. And he's the CEO of like himself,
His own
so
company, yeah.
he
His
can
own
just
self.
do whatever the heck he wants to do.
Yeah, so there you go. Full circle. I literally hated them with a burning passion for the longest time. Um, actually, over a year. Weird. But now I love them, and I'm super sad. And I'm even more sad because I could have been supporting them literally this entire time, and I didn't.
Well, you bought the albums.
Well, I'm saying like over the last like year or so that
No, yeah.
they were a group, and I was busy being mad at them. I could have been supporting them this whole time, and now it's too late. You don't know which happened until it's gone, you know?
Yeah, it just stinks that, I mean...
That makes me feel so much worse, knowing that I hated them so much.
Yeah, it just... Well, like you said, you realized after a little while, though, it wasn't their fault that happened. It was the company's. Kind of like this, but like it was the Cube's fault and all that stuff that they decided to pull it from CLC and give it to them, but...
I think it's also part of the reason that I mentally allowed myself to like them after watching that video, was that I like finally forgave them for what I thought they did to CLC, but really it had nothing to do with them.
Yeah. Just like this situation. I mean, it just has... don't blame the girls because it's not their fault, haters.
Yeah, don't like crucify them for something they didn't even do. But there you have it. That's what we know. That's the journey that we've been on with IZ*ONE. And now the important thing to remember after all this is everybody keep supporting IZ*ONE. They need it more than ever.
They do.
Also,
I just hope they can come out because their albums look so cool. They had 3 different versions that they were going to have too, and they all looked really awesome.
Speaking of CLC, Season Greetings came out. That's looking pretty sweet.
Hey, yeah, I bought it for you.
I know, I'm super excited about that.
This one looks really elite. Last year's was just the calendar, pretty much. This one has like photo cards and notebooks and all this stuff, so...
Special like pre-order like cards and photos and stuff.
Yeah, I have no idea when it's going to come, probably like halfway through the year, but hey, at least you'll get 6 months out of it.
That's true. I mean, I'm just going to look at the pictures anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's the best. The last year's was really cool too. That one was awesome, just the big calendar.
Now, I know last week's episode and pretty much all of this episode has been a pretty big downer, but I'm in a dark place. But
yeah,
on a happier note,
we'll become happy one time eventually. Who knows?
On a happier note, to end this, I've gone through and found what the other girls that were in Produce 48 are up to. So we collectively can go support them along with supporting IZ*ONE still. So Kyan debuted as a solo artist back in like July.
Yay!
I'm not really sure what she's up to right now, but she did put out a song, so she was doing some solo stuff. As we mentioned before in another episode, Alex Christine debuted as a solo artist as Alexa with her song Bomb, which is really cool.
Really good.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff. People have been like supporting her a lot, so that's good.
Definitely.
Also, it's kind of funny because I'm looking back on some of these groups, and I know I've heard songs to them and stuff, but I didn't know the Produce 48 girls were in it because I didn't really like look into it, you know?
Yeah.
A big one is Rocket Punch. Juri, Zoe, and Suyeon all are in Rocket Punch from Produce 48.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so that's a big group, so support them. Cherry Bullet, Hyun is in Cherry Bullet. I had no idea that she was in that group.
They're solid. They've had some good music.
So support Cherry Bullet. Fanatics, which is a group I didn't really hear about until like when I looked into like these other members. But Doa is in there, the one that looks like Zoe.
Oh yeah.
Obviously one of our favorite members in our favorite groups. Yuri's in Fromus 9, so keep supporting Fromus 9.
We do know about Fromus 9.
Oh yeah, we do. Also, we've mentioned before that Sion and Yurin are both in Everglow, and they're doing pretty good, so keep supporting Everglow.
Definitely.
A group I didn't even know really debuted called Aqua. which, I mean, how's that name not copyrighted since they made one of the most iconic songs in the history of the world?
Never heard of them.
I haven't either. I mean, unless they're the ones that made Barbie Girl, but I don't
I
think
have
it
no
is.
idea. I have no idea.
But Hostel, she's an Aqua, so I mean, if you ever look into them, support them. Um, and then a group that hasn't technically debuted yet, but is being formed, which shit, it might come out sooner than later now, depending on what happens with this whole Eyes One thing. Is Yoonjin, Yoonchae, and Choyeon all are with A Team now, and they signed there so they could be a group and form into a new debuting group once Minju's out of Eyes One. So whenever
Could
that
be
is,
sooner than later. That's
I
going to be
know.
awesome.
Whenever that is, you're gonna get a group of Minju, Yoonjin, Yoonchae, and Choyeon.
That's
So
going to be so awesome.
that's a freaking squad.
They
So
just
everybody,
need to somehow add Wen K in there somehow and just make a super group.
I saw where it said her and one of the other girls were like supposed to be debuting as a group later this year, but I haven't heard anything about it. I mean, it's December, so.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of time.
Um, also, if you guys were wondering, all of the Japanese members pretty much are back in AKB48, and they've all been like promoting and doing stuff together. They're really popular.
Yeah.
So, if there's honestly any of the members that you should not be worried about, it's the girls in AKB48 because they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I mean, they're literally already in a big group that's so freaking famous, so.
And I will say that Miru and Mo and I'm trying to remember who the other one was off the top of my head, but it's like super late. I can look it up real fast. Anyways, they've all been centers in AKB 48.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, and obviously that's like a big thing for them.
Definitely.
So they've been like gotten a lot of like center attention since they came back. Miu was always kind of the center of her little group that she had. She was always really popular, but Mo got more popular. And hold on, let me look up who this other person is. If I don't, it's gonna like really bother me.
They just got that nice little produce bump that gave them a little bit more popularity as they headed back to their own countries.
Oh, Sai, S-A-E.
Yeah.
She has been the center for a couple of the like releases by AKB since she came back.
That's awesome.
Also, Miyu, she signed with Mystic Entertainment, and she's supposed to be debuting as like they're not sure if it's a soloist or in a group, but she's supposed to be debuting sometime, but she signed with a Korean agency. So hopefully we see something from her pretty soon. And a bunch of the other ones that say like, oh, they're supposed to be debuting in a group, or, you know, I don't know. But who knows? Like, if you haven't seen anything, so that could literally be anything.
Right.
I'm not sure who this Aqua is. They're from Crazy Entertainment. Never heard of them.
Yeah, I never heard of that group either, actually.
But
well, it's a good sign that a lot of the people who competed in the show are doing good things. And people are still going to come out, too, so we have that to look forward to as far as, like, new groups, maybe some solo stuff, too, so.
yeah, I've got a week's vacation coming up at my work, and I'm going to be in Springfield, where Justin is, in about a week. So we're going to have a more fun episode coming out next week, since we're going to be live on location together. So we can do a little...
For the first time ever.
Yeah, we can do a little more...
For the podcast, anyway.
Yeah, we've never met each other in real life.
Yeah, this is just a big catfish thing going on.
We just met each other in a forum, a K-pop forum, and here we are.
Hey, it's working.
So it's going to be a little different. It'll be something fun. It'll be different than what we're normally doing. So I feel bad that the last two episodes have been kind of downers, but I tried to end it on a happier note. So go support all the girls that were in Produce 48. Keep supporting Eyes One. Wise Ones. We love Eyes One. So.
And police in Korea, please investigate King Daniel because he probably should go to jail for being a cheater. So, I won't let my prejudices against anybody ruin the end of this episode, but seriously investigate him. But anyway, that will do it for another episode. I mean, it has been kind of a bummer, but we have to talk about it because we literally always talk about Produce 48, and now they're like the number one K-pop news, so we can't just leave this stuff alone.
And we're gonna definitely finish watching the other episodes. We might finish watching this next week, honestly. So.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have some time to knock out a few more.
Yeah.
But as we do to close the episode, dude, do you want to kick out some of your social medias where people can follow you?
You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at FogRaw, TOHB. I mean, if you message me, I'll message you back. I mean, I do work like a normal person, so sorry if it's not instantaneously, but I will get back to you if you.
Everyone has their own schedules.
Yeah. What about you?
You can follow me on Justin TOHB on Insta, and Kpop Kimchi 101 is our page on Instagram, and for Twitter to Kimchi Kpop Podcast. Look us up. See everything we've got. Listen to past episodes. If you haven't listened to our past episodes, we promise we've been more happy at times. But if you're a recurring guest, we love you. We love our new listeners as well. And, Brian said it, but we promise we will be a little more happy in the future.
We also got we might review some albums and stuff. Some new albums come in because.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of good comebacks coming.
Also, we're gonna have a fun partnership we can announce here in a little bit. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we are going to have a good collab with some awesome K-pop merch people who are incredible. So stay tuned because I feel like that should be coming next episode. So that is awesome.
So there's good times on the horizon.
Good times on the horizon, hopefully for IZ*ONE as well.
Unless more sad news comes out about IZ*ONE, then it's just.
Then we are still going to talk about it because that's what we do. But for Brian, I am Justin. This was the K-Pop Kimchi Podcast. We love you. Peace.
Later.